Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm going to show you how to put on the face frames, how I did it. I did it with pocket holes, and then I'm just kind of going to go through it real quick with you so you know exactly how I did it and why I did it and what size these are. Now, on the actual face frame itself, okay, anything that's over 36 inches, I always like to go with 2.5 inches. The top rail of my cabinets, I like to go 4 inches. So it just gives me a little extra. And then here you're looking at the 1.5. Now with the face framing, I have 3 basic sizes. It's what I like to work with, and this is for face frame only. I like using 1.5 on this here, especially on cabinets if it's over 36 inches. I like using the 2.5, and then the top would be 4. Now this is 1.5, 4, and these are 2.5. So anywhere I have a shelf, I like putting a little bit more beefy, but those are the 3 main ones that I use that have worked well. That's what we use on the face frames. So let me go ahead and show you how we assemble it and get it all set up for you.
First, I like setting the blade teeth only about 1/8 inch above the material. Next, I will cut to size the select pine I bought to give this a perfect width boards I need. Now I measure and I dry fit everything, so I can pretty much guarantee a good fit when ready. Since the chop saw will be the deciding factor of getting clean, straight cuts, I always make sure and I test cut a piece and go through the process of making sure that it is cutting straight and true, which really makes the assembly process fast and perfectly square. Now, don't assume that the saw is going to be cutting straight and square. That's one of the biggest problems I had with students. They just take it for granted.
Hey guys, remember to subscribe, okay? We're trying to build up this community. We have some great people in it that are really interacting together. So if you ever need a great minds think alike type thing, here you go.
Now, using the stop block, I can now cut everything to a finished length and dry fit it. Now, I do like making reference marks of the shelf edge and which side of the pocket holes will be on. It just try to keep everything organized. Now, like I said, if you have a lot of these to do, stay organized. Now it's time to go ahead and pocket hole these dudes up. Now I'm using the kreg system. It's an older model, but it still works great. I'll try the newer model here sooner or later. Now, a good rule of thumb is to always drill your pocket holes along the wood grain, the long ways, at the ends, and not go across the grain. It just doesn't give you the hold you're probably wanting. Now, when I start to assemble these and start screwing them in together, I like to clamp the frames with these kreg adjustable clamps. They're the wide puck feet. Really makes it help and keep it flush to one another. And it just makes for a cleaner finish, a nicer finish. But it's just something you can do with other clamps and make your own clamps, heck. But these are just handy. Now, once it's assembled, I give it one more check that the fit before gluing it down. Nothing worse than gluing it down and you're hammering it together and somewhere it's messed up. Now with this particular build, these are going to be flush to the outside of the case. Now if you're doing a case against the wall, the side against the wall, you want to go ahead and leave about 1/4 inch or more on the edge of the material, going towards the wall, so you can actually cut it to fit the wall. So that's just a tip for later, and I'll show you that in another. I'll show you that in the kitchen remodel. Okay, now for a little glue cleanup and on to the next cabinet. Now, doing the tall, long cabinets like this, make sure for one that you can flip it into your house without hitting the ceiling. You can always clip the bottom area in the backs to give you just another inch or so of space if you're going to go ahead and put a baseboard around that. that hides that. Or you can make two cabinets and bring them in and set one on top of the other. I do it in a, I like doing it in a long case myself. I've just been doing that for a long time, and it just seems to work out really well. Now, doing the tall, long cabinet, I like to use the spacers on the inside, like I used when I put it together. But I like using these spacers so it'll keep it from warping and keep the sides straight as possible when I'm putting on the face frames. Just because of the length of it, the plywood quality sometimes is not up to par, but it's the best you can get. Okay. But this is just going to kind of help you out so you don't have to worry about that later. Now, once I glue and nail this off, it's on to the next final cabinet. Now, as you can see, even though these three cabinets are very different, making the face frames are the same for each one. It's just a difference of the width of the board, and just making sure you lay it out, making sure you always check square all the time. It's going to give you a great install. I like using a good wood putty to fill all the nail holes and any imperfections in the wood that you might have. Along with the plywood, you might have voids that you want to go ahead and take care of. And since we're painting it white, it's not going to show. It'll be just right. Now, if you do need to shave a little bit off, the face frame itself maybe just has a little bit over or what have you. So if possible, go ahead and use a router with a flush trim bit like this. It just will make it a lot easier and a lot nicer in finish. Okay, now that the face frames are all on and the glue is dry, I hand sand all the edges so the finish will hold better, with broken edges. You just give it a little bit of round over with the sandpaper at 220, 150, it'll work. I usually go with a 220 because I don't need to break that much. So yeah, I just go over and hand sand all those, make it look nice, get it ready for paint. Then we're done with face framing.
Hey everybody, I appreciate you watching. I really do. It means a great deal to me. Hopefully this has helped you out, and if it has, please give me that thumbs up. It really helps us out. It doesn't cost you a dime, which is really cool, so do that for me if you would.